The reason why DevOps became very, very important nowadays is because companies want to do application software releases faster. And this is one particular area in the entire IT processes where a developer creates something, hands over to the operations team to deliver it to the production. Now this is the place where a lot of delays happen typically in larger organizations. Now earlier that was okay, because earlier the IT product features were not so much of a breadwinner for the company. Company didn't bother beyond a point about the IT services that they offer to their consumers, because consumers used to be typically offline consumers. They used to come to their brick and mortar shops to buy things or to make orders. Instead of that, nowadays, if you look at this graph today, in December 2017 itself, there's a huge number of population of the world is already on the internet. And out of this huge population, there is a significant amount of population who very much do the e-commerce. They pay via credit card, debit card in the online shopping portals and order stuff from there. They book tickets from these online portals, not from some ticket kiosk, some man-to-man interaction in a ticket counter. They use websites, they use mobile apps, and therefore IT is now the breadwinner for many of the companies which earlier didn't think of it that way. For example, let's take up a banking organization. Typically a banking organization's business used to get boosted on basis of how many ATMs do they have across the country. Consumers used to think of one bank as a better bank if there are more branches and ATMs nearby his house for that particular bank. And then customers used to open up bank accounts into that bank only. But nowadays, people are actually focusing more on the mobile apps and internet banking facilities that a bank offers. And those have become the drivers for adoption for a particular bank. Now that, however, is a fiercely competitive market. There is not one bank who is trying to do the mobile apps better. All the banks are trying to do it. And there is a fierce competition going on. The more and more features they can offer on the mobile apps, on the websites and the internet banking facilities, the more credence a bank gets in terms of making it easier for the consumers to do banking. Because of this reason, there is a huge pressure on the IT departments of these banks to produce more and more features at a much quicker rate and publish it into production. Now that is a challenging task. The fact that developers have to quickly develop a feature and then release it to operations, and operations will immediately release it to production, it takes a lot of time. Developers work, you can't speed it up beyond a point. You have already done, let's say, agile releases, and that has sped it up to the possible extent. But then when you give it to the operations people, they are taking, let's say, 1 month time. That is simply not something that the companies can cope up with nowadays. Earlier, when there used to be biannual releases, like in 6 months you will release the next version of the ATM software, right? You wouldn't release the ATM software next version in 2-3 weeks. You release it typically after 6 months. That's how it used to be. Nowadays, the mobile application features cannot be like that. They get a weekly release, 2-weekly release. So those reasons are driving nowadays a thought process that we have to speed up this process of releasing the product to the production. Now, how do we do that? Now, typically what has happened is it has taken months minimum. In largest of the organizations, a month time to take the whole application from the testing environment to the production is a very common scenario. But that is not something that we can work with anymore. We have used whatever mechanisms are typically available. We have got best of the people, we have got best of the processes, we have got best of the tools also implemented in some cases. And even after that, what we have seen is that it takes that much amount of time. The reason typically is that because we invest much in the people. There are a lot of manual work that is involved in the operational testing and releasing to production. We do follow significant amount of processes and we do follow tools, but the tools are not for automation. Those tools are typically for process level management. Now, DevOps proposes to reduce that from months to make it some weeks only by increasing the tools and lessening the number of people. And because there are less number of people, you need less number of processes as well. And that's where DevOps is trying to take you.